Welcome to Santa Clarita Weekly, where we cover all things local in Santa Clarita Valley every Saturday morning at 9 on KQRU 107.9. Join hosts Tim Haddock and Sage Rafferty as they uncover the latest news, events, sports highlights, and more, keeping you connected and engaged with what matters most in our hometown.
Welcome back for another edition of Santa Clarita Weekly with Tim Haddock and Sage Rafferty. I'm Sage. He's Tim. You can listen to us on the radio at KQRU 107.9 FM on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. We're also on YouTube and Instagram, and you can find us online at santaclaritastar.com. And today we're joined by special guest, Jerry Danielsen. So what we're going to be talking about is Dr. Dianne Van Hook, the Chancellor of the College of the Canyons, was abruptly and unexpectedly placed on administrative leave, leaving the college without a chancellor. And I'm sure the community has a lot of questions. So Andrew Taban announced his campaign for College of the Canyons Board of Trustees. Abbey Weitzeil, who was on the Saugus High swim team, and if you remember, we interviewed her our last episode, is on the team captains for the U.S. swim team in the Summer Olympics in Paris. And finally, the Dodgers head into an all-star break in the first place in the National League West standings, but had a rough week, blowing two ninth-inning leads to the Tigers in Detroit. So I'm going to start out talking about Andrew Taban. Officially launched his campaign for College of the Canyons Board of Trustees and Trustee Area 3. So Taban was a staffer to Assemblywoman Christy Smith and is currently on the staff of Assemblywoman Pilar Schiavo. And he was joined by many supporters, including Wendy Brill Weinkoop, the president of the Faculty Association of the California Community Colleges. And of course, Jerry Danielsen was there. I think businessman Fred Arnold is also expected to jump into the race. So at Andrew Taban's announcement event, Michelle Campbell, a longtime aide to former Assemblywoman Christy Smith, announced that she is also running for COC in Trustee Area 5. So, Jerry, this is your first question. I know you're supporting Andrew Taban's candidacy. Can you tell me why you decided to support him and what he brings to the table?
So Andrew is a passionate man, and he is well-versed in the legislature and well-versed in the culture of the city of Santa Clarita. And I believe he'll bring some vigor of youth, or retain vigor of youth, since that was Sebastian's old deed. And Sebastian Cazares was one of the youngest people elected to that in the whole of California. And I trust his opinions. So I know him personally, and there's a matter of, when given the context of whatever topics come up, unforeseen or foreseen, do you trust somebody's opinion on how they'll vote, and what will they do their due diligence and research and all that stuff? There's a lot involved, more than what might meet the eye, to being on a board of trustee. We have packets about 2 inches thick that we get every other week that we read through, and there's a lot going on, so when something goes by quickly at a board meeting, there's research behind it. So
yeah,
that's why. And so that's why. That answers your question.
All right. So next I'll talk about Dr. Van Hook. So the College of the Canyons Board of Trustees voted to put Chancellor and District CEO Dr. Dianne Van Hook on administrative leave and essentially remove her as the top administrator at the college after decades in that position. And she is the CEO of the Santa Clarita Community College District and the longest serving district CEO in the state. Her career at COC began in 1988 when, at 37 years old, she was hired as the youngest community college CEO in California. So what led her to being placed on administrative leave is still in question. And here's what we know. The board voted unanimously to place Van Hook on administrative leave. It was a 3-0 vote with Sebastian Cazares not present. He had a family emergency. So the 5th seat on the college board is vacant after Chuck Lyon resigned in June. So the Deputy Chancellor, Diane Ferrero, sent an email to faculty and college staff informing them about the shift in leadership. David Andrus, a past president of the COC Academic Senate and Political Science professor at the college, is set to take over the role in acting chancellor. In a recent campus climate survey revealed some employees described how they were fearful of being retaliated against for speaking up about problems at the college. A timetable for finding a permanent replacement for Van Hook has not been set, but the COC Foundation director and members said they would like the board to consider their input in the search. So College of the Canyons Board Vice President Jerry Danielsen, who is here with us today, said in a prepared statement issued by the college, the laws prevent us from discussing what happens in closed sessions and personnel matters. We can assure the public that the board is working hard to ensure the health and well-being of the entire college community with nothing but the best intentions for the future of the college in mind. And meanwhile, supporters of Dr. Van Hook, including a member of the city council, touted her success and historic role in the community and in education. City councilwoman Lorraine West told the Signal, the woman did a phenomenal job of doing things that were trailblazing. She was dynamic. The energy had such a great influence on people, investing their time, dollars, and commitment to help drive that to the very top. And Dr. Van Hook's contract with the district expires in June in 2027. So 2 members of the college district's board of trustees have recently resigned. So Chuck Lyon stepped down in June, and Joan McGregor is resigning effective August 5th. She said the meeting that the board voted to place Van Hook on administrative leave was her last. So the seat on the board vacated by Lyon will be filled in November general election and will be for the remainder of his term that ends in 2026. McGregor's seat can either be filled by appointment by the board or by special election. The deadline to put the ballot for her seat on the November general election, I think, is passed already. So, Tim, do you want to ask? I know you have a lot of questions for Jerry.
Yes, I'll take over. So,
Okay.
my first question, and I've heard this from a lot of different people, is what does administrative leave actually mean? Is the chancellor being investigated, or is her job performance under review? And is there any chance for her returning?
Thank you for the question. And thank you for reading my statement. So there's truth to the fact that I cannot say what happens in closed session at the college. I'm legally bound to not say that. And we have lawyers present, and I've been advised what the laws are. There's a law, there's the Brown Act, and there's Title V, and all kinds of restrictions on what I can say in a closed session. Being placed on administrative leave means that she's no longer, her title is chancellor, but she's no longer active. She is now inactive, and we placed an acting chancellor in her stead, David Andrus. I cannot answer the other question specifically as far as the length that will go on, but I can say more will be revealed sooner rather than later.
Okay. My next question is the district actively searching for a new chancellor? And if not, when does that process begin?
So that's a great question. We are not currently searching because we're getting David Andrus, who only just started his role on Monday. Today, it's only been a few days. He is just getting his feet on the ground, figuring out what to go on. And we have to decide these things at board meetings. So we haven't scheduled in when we're going to do this, but there will be a robust, active search. We will probably have a committee and people steering us towards where to look, putting the word out nationwide, and people advising, so-and-so from whatever college would be great. That we'll have advisors, we're open to any suggestions. We want to do like I said, a very robust search and get the best person possible for the job. That's a process that can take months and months and months. It can take 6 months. It can take 8 months. That process has not officially yet begun because this is all brand new stuff. The leadership change is right here only a few days ago. So,
Right.
So it's going to take a little bit of time. and I do mean a little bit of time. We're not going to delay this for months and months. These are all pressing topics that will be addressed.
Okay. Next question is, why was a vote taken with only 3 members present and one who announced her intentions to resign? I mean, why was the vote taken with only 3 members at the meeting?
So I can give you an overview. This evaluation process that started at the middle, the last Wednesday of June, we did a closed session then. We did another closed session a few days later. We did another closed session after that, and we did a 4th closed session. So there's nothing rash or sudden about that. We deliberated on every possible topic. It wasn't just bam, we have our minds made up. There was nothing about that was true. So to directly answer your question, Chuck Lyon, who resigned, was present during the first 1 or 2 of those closed sessions.
Okay. Then
he resigned for personal reasons. He said he just it wasn't for him. He doesn't like politics. That was his public statement. So we were left, and Chuck resigned in time to have his seat on the ballot. So in November, there will be an election for his seat to serve in the interim through 2026. So currently the board has 4 members, because Joan McGregor is still a member and she will be through August 5th. So there were 4 of us, and Sebastian Cazares had a family emergency. He had a death of a close family member and just could not attend that specific meeting, but he had been to all the other closed session meetings. So we cannot vote for him, but we knew that we were not, we knew what he was going to say, but I'm not going to speak for him. When we have 3 people, we have a quorum, and that's what, we have 5 on the board, but 3 is a quorum. So that's how that happened, to specifically answer your question.
Okay. Next question is about a resolution that was presented to the board. It was presented by the CSEA, which is the union that represents, and I want to make sure I get this right, they represent the classified employees at the college, and then the classified senate, which is another group of unionized workers. They presented a resolution to the board in June about Dr. Van Hook. Did the board adopt any of that resolution in their decision to place Dr. Van Hook on administrative leave?
So I can give you the short answer. The short answer is no, but let me elaborate. I appreciated that resolution. The thought that went into it, the wording that went into it, it was a collaborative resolution between classified and the academic senate. And I agreed with a lot of it. The board has not, this has gone quickly we've had 4 closed sessions, but we've only had one or 2 open sessions since that resolution came up. So we haven't had time to deal with normal board issues, except for some pressing business stuff, which happened last week. The resolution was not part of at least my personal consideration, although the resolution addressed, I was listening to what they had to say. But even without the resolution, those folks spoke in open session about their concerns, about their worries, about their personal experiences. The resolution just put it into something that they thought would help the process of healing at the college for those who felt on that side for those who felt like there were problems that needed to be addressed, which leading on to some other questions I'm sure you're going to ask. The climate survey revealed very great things about the college, how it's a wonderful place. It's an amazing opportunity for our entire community, whether you're going to get a degree and then transfer, whether you're going to go into the workplace from there, whether you're trying to just build yourself as a human being creatively, whatever that is, the college is amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
So one side of the survey reflects that greatly, how such a high percentage of people who work there just love their jobs, love their students, love their topic. They're passionate about it. They love working at the college. The other side of the survey showed how there were almost half the people spoke of, and there are open-ended questions as well, spoke of some of the problems they saw at the college as far as some microaggressions and some retaliation issues. So that's a high percentage, but that's not the whole survey. So it's like yin and yang. You can focus on negative or focus on positive. I tried to look at it and look at how great this college is. Are there things to work on? Yes.
Right. And I saw the results of the survey too. And my impression of it was it cast the college in a more positive light than negative light. But like you said, there were some issues that the employees had with leadership, with administration, and the complaints that they had were not as reflective as what they had, what were the good things they had to say about the college. So that was my impression of the report, is that it did put the college in a very positive light.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Lots and lots of the categories, other than what I just spoke of as far as the work needs to be done, a huge percentage of the categories paint the college in a very positive light. And for the folks who work there, they love their jobs. And most importantly, the mission of the college is for the students. Most importantly, for the students to have a high quality level of education, that's the most important thing. And that, I believe, everyone agrees, everyone's placing the students first. And I was very pleased in the survey to feel like all the folks from all the walks of all their levels of involvement with the college believe that same thing, that it's a students first kind of environment, and that is extremely positive.
Okay, so just a couple more questions.
Yeah,
and this is an easy one, but I'll leave it open for you. What is the next step for the board?
Well, that is a great question. So let's do short term and then a little longer term. Short term is, speaking with David, having meetings now with David as the new acting chancellor. Probably one of the most pressing new things on the agenda will be we're going to have an appointment process for Joan McGregor's seat that she vacated. I don't know for sure when that will be, but there's been talk about that happening in September. During the summer, there's only one meeting in August and one meeting. There might be two in September. I need to check my schedule.
Okay,
sorry.
but I know there's one in August.
But there's only one in August. Yeah. Because during the summer months, there's only one meeting instead of two. And because everybody's on break.
Right.
So that's a pressing thing we're working out. We actually have somebody looking into various methods that other colleges have used for the appointment process, because the last appointment process was confusing to a lot of people. So we'd like more transparency in that process so everybody understands what's going on. And we will put a call out. There are legal guidelines. You have a certain amount of days in advance. You announce there'll be an appointment process, and then you put it out to the general populace who live in her area that they can apply. There's an application process, an interview process. So that's probably one of the most pressing things on the agenda. Of course, the election in November isn't that far away, and all 5 seats right now are up for grabs. So there's big turnover at the college. I am running for re-election in my seat, district area number 4, and Adele Alonso is running for re-election in her seat. If we win, we'll be the only 2 members that are there now that will still be there in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we will win for reasons of continuity, and the public can judge if they think we've done a good job. I believe we've gone above and beyond as far as all the research And there's a lot to this job, but there's a lot below the surface that a lot of people aren't quite sure of. And unfortunately, I can't speak openly about all of it, but I can speak openly about as much as legally possible. And so there are election campaigns that are going to be happening
Right.
Throughout the Santa Clarita Valley to fill the various seats of the board that will be up. In fact, the person we appoint will be the only person not up for election in November because they will have been appointed and
Right.
they will serve through 2026.
Got it.
But Jerry, I actually have a question too. So, yeah, kind of in relation to that. So, like you said, in 2025, there's going to be a lot of new faces on the board.
Yes.
So, especially in this sort of period of transition at COC. So, Adele Alonso has been on the board for many years, but assuming she gets reelected, how important will Adele's role be on the board of trustees?
Well, once we hit November of this year, Adele will be the longest serving member, having been on the board since 2016. And I will have been the second longest serving member, having been on the board since March of 2023, because Sebastian is not running again. So there'll be a lot of new faces. And again, I believe Adele has gone above and beyond as a board president and is very detailed and prepared and organized and has only the best wishes of everyone involved in mind. And I also, as a pitch to myself, would like to be reelected as well. Adele and I work really well together. And again, of course, I have only the best intentions for the college and the students in mind.
All right. Tim, do you have any more questions?
No, I think I'm done. I think we've covered plenty.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you coming on. I know you have a busy day, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on and answer some questions.
Thank you for having me, and I'd love to come back on when there's more that will be public knowledge that I can elaborate on at that point.
We would love to have you back, Jerry.
I appreciate it. And you'll be hearing news from the college coming out over the next weeks and months, that's for sure.
All right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Have a great day, you guys.
All right. You too.
Bye.
You're listening to KQRU 107.9 in Santa Clarita. You can listen to Santa Clarita Weekly on Saturday mornings at 9 and on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you get your podcasts. So let's transition and talk about sports. Abbey Weitzeil, who we actually interviewed in the last episode. If you haven't heard that, make sure you listen to that. But she was on the Saugus High swim team, and she is a captain of the U.S. women's swim team headed to the Summer Olympics in Paris. She and Katie Ledecky will be the team captains for the women's swim team. Weitzeil is on her third U.S. Olympic swim team. She has won 4 Olympic medals, including a gold in the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. She set national records in swimming while in high school at Saugus and competed for Team USA in the Summer Olympics in 2016 in Rio and 2021 in Tokyo. She is on the 100-meter relay team for the United States for the Paris Olympics and will be in search of her 5th Olympic medal. And next, we'll talk about the Dodgers. So the All-Star break couldn't come at a better time for the Dodgers. They are the leaders in the National League West standings, comfortably ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks and San Diego Padres. But they lost 6 of the 7 games before the All-Star break and blew 2 ninth-inning leads to the Tigers in Detroit. The Dodgers are licking their wounds at the midway point of the season. The Dodgers blew a 5-run lead in the 9th inning of the second game of the series against the Tigers. The Tigers scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th to tie the score 9-9. Gio Urshela hit a 2-run home run in the 10th inning of off reliever Johan Ramirez to win the game 11-9. The Dodgers blew a 1-run lead in the 9th inning in the third game of the series and lost 4-3. Ramirez's throwing error in the bottom of the ninth inning allowed the winning run to score in that game. It was a rough weekend for Ramirez, but it's not like the Dodgers have many other pitching options right now. A number of pitchers are injured, including All-Star Tyler Glasnow, who's from Santa Clarita. He is on the injured list with lower back stiffness, but he is not the only Dodger pitcher nursing injuries right now. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was moved to the 60-day injured list with a sore tricep. He won't be eligible to return to the rotation until at least August 15th. Starter Bobby Miller was sent down to the minors following poor outings since he returned from the injured list. Starter Walker Buehler is out with hip inflammation. Michael Grove is out with a rib strain. The Dodgers need some healthy arms, and it doesn't really look like there are many left in the organization. That doesn't include the injuries to Mookie Betts and Max Muncy, of course. So despite all the injuries, the Dodgers are 56-41 after 97 games and have a 7-game lead in the National League West standings over the Diamondbacks and Padres. When the All-Star break is over and the season resumes, the Dodgers will face the Red Sox at Dodger Stadium for a weekend series. So, Tim, the Dodgers bullpen seems to be struggling right now, especially Yohan Ramirez. So what adjustments do you think the team needs to make to shore things up?
Right. So the bullpen was exhausted for that series against the Tigers for the last week before the All-Star break. And part of that is due to having so many starting pitchers on the injured list. The Dodgers have had to use a bullpen type strategy to get through some games. They've been starting relievers. They've been going to the bullpen early, and I mean the Dodger relievers were either all exhausted or not. They needed rest. I mean they all been overused in the last few games, the last week before the All-Star break. So giving them some rest, giving them a little break is going to help. It's going to help in the immediate future when they get back to playing games after the All-Star break. But unless they can find some more healthy arms, the bullpen problems are going to mount as the season goes on.
Yeah, well, hopefully they get it together and they get some pitchers there. But that's our show. Tune in next week for more discussions about the news in Santa Clarita. You can listen to us on the radio at KQRU 107.9 FM at 9 on Saturday mornings. And you can also watch us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and listen to us on SantaClaritaStar.com, wherever you listen to podcasts. So leave us a comment and be sure to subscribe to Santa Clarita Weekly Online. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to Santa Clarita Weekly. You can watch the show on Santa Clarita Star's YouTube channel and Facebook page, as well as listen in on the radio at KQRU 107.9. The show is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.